Have you ever wondered why certain actions, seemingly minor, carry such severe consequences in spiritual communities? Have you ever questioned the purpose behind age-old monastic punishments and their relevance to modern practitioners? Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we dive into a striking episode from Chinese Buddhism, when a novice monk secretly ate the monastery's offerings and was ordered to kneel for 3 days by the great Venerable Zhuyan. We will explore the layers of meaning behind this stern rebuke, how it reflects fundamental Buddhist ethical principles, and what lessons it holds for anyone seeking genuine integrity on the path. In a remote mountain monastery, meals are offered daily by lay devotees who bring rice, fruits, and tea as symbols of faith and support. These offerings are first placed on the altar, consecrated through recitation and mindful attention, and then shared among the monasticus. When a young monk helped himself to those offerings before their consecration, he not only broke the rule of proper respect, but also violated the spirit of generosity that underpins the entire Sangha. Venerable Zhuyan, an elder renowned for his compassionate rigor, discovered the transgression and ordained that the monk kneel motionless, hour after hour, for 3 days. At first glance, this punishment may appear harsh. Yet within the Buddhist framework, such disciplinary measures serve a vital purpose to illuminate the deep roots of greed and to catalyze sincere repentance. The Vinaya, or monastic code, classifies taking what is not given as one of the 4 defeats for monks' actions so serious that they call into question one's capacity to uphold the path. By kneeling without complaint, the novice confronted the physical discomfort of his act and was guided inward to observe the mental greed that had driven him. Under Zhuyan's gaze, his suffering became the mirror reflecting his own self-centered craving. Venerable Zhuyan's teaching was more than punitive, it was transformative. As the heat of shame and the ache in his knees intensified, the monk's mind turned from external blame to internal inquiry. He recognized how subtle the mind's justification could be. I was hungry. Serving myself is no harm. Or others have taken more without issue. Through each pang of pain, Zhuyan invited him to see those rationalizations as a smoke obscuring the clear sky of mindfulness. By the end of the 3rd day, the monk emerged humbled and purified, his commitment to restraint renewed by the lived experience of his own limits. This story illustrates a core Buddhist insight: ethical discipline lies not external obedience, but the foundation for inner freedom. When we act without regard for the well-being of others or the sanctity of communal offerings, we tighten the fetters of self-interest. But when we voluntarily accept the consequences of our misdeeds, we break through those fetters. The physical posture of kneeling itself becomes a practice of humility, reminding the body and mind that genuine respect cannot coexist with selfish craving. In contemporary life, we may not be asked to kneel for days, but the principle remains: confronting the consequences of our actions with honesty is the crucible of integrity. When we lie, cheat, or cut corners, whether at work, in relationships, or in self-care, we incur a hidden cost, a fracture in our own trustworthiness. A modern equivalent of Zhuyan's lesson might be a public apology, restitution of wrongfully taken resources, or a period of self-reflection donated to community service. What matters is not the spectacle of punishment, but the sincerity of facing our own greed and repairing the harm done. Consider the case of a corporate leader who diverted company funds for personal perks. When exposed, he could have offered excuses or resigned quietly. Instead, guided by mentors and ethical advisors, he stood before his employees, acknowledged his betrayal, and pledged to work without pay for the next 6 months to restore the financial loss. In doing so, he mirrored the spirit of the kneeling monk, accepting discomfort and inconvenience to cleanse the wound of self-interest and rebuild trust. Venerable Zhuyan's teachings extend beyond isolated incidents. They speak to the very heart of Buddhist practice. Generosity d'honor is counted among the highest virtues, yet it is fragile when faced with greed. The sanctity of offerings reflects the unspoken pact between giver and receiver, that gifts made in goodwill nourish the bodies and hearts of practitioners. To violate that pact is to undermine the web of mutual support that sustains spiritual communities. Through the severe remedy of kneeling, Suyan re-established that trust and reaffirmed the interconnectedness of all members. This episode also invites us to reflect on our own offerings: time, attention, love, and resources, and how we treat them. Do we consume others' goodwill carelessly, taking favors or support without gratitude? Do we honor the intentions behind each act of generosity? When we recognize a pattern of taking more than we give, the corrective practice may not involve physical kneeling, but could include acts of service, restitution, or heartfelt acknowledgement of debt. In each case, we practice the same lesson. True generosity arises from a humble, clear mind that values others as it values itself. As we conclude, let us remember that the stern discipline of Venerable Zuyan was never an end in itself, but a means to awaken compassion, integrity, and mindful respect. When we face the discomfort of our own greed with courage, we break the cycle of self-delusion and open the door to genuine freedom. Thank you for watching this video.